Three of your biggest line items, what you pay for the goods you sell, what you pay to keep your people covered, and what you pay the IRS, all moved in the last week. And two of them moved in a direction you can actually use. I'm Drew. This is Main Street Operator. It's Monday, the second full week of July, and here are three things that shifted, and the one move each one should put on your desk this week. Start with the cost of everything you buy to resell or build with, because the bill is landing harder in 2026 than it did last year. Here's the number that matters. Through 2025, small businesses ate roughly 80% of the tariff cost themselves and passed only 20% to customers. That ratio is now flipping. The New York Fed's own research, published on Liberty Street Economics this month, ties higher imported input costs directly to weaker revenue and hiring expectations for the businesses carrying them. And the Center for American Progress puts the first-year cost of the new tariffs at about $306,000 for the average small business importer, with Morningstar expecting durable goods prices to keep climbing a cumulative 4.5% through 2027. Here's the move this week. Pull your top 5 purchased items by dollar volume and find out, supplier by supplier, which country each one actually ships from. Most small operators buy from a single supplier and have never mapped it. Then do two things. Reprice the products carrying the biggest landed cost jump, because the operators who waited to reprice in 2025 are the ones whose margins collapsed, and put in one call for a quote from a second supplier in a different country. You don't have to switch, you just need to stop being single-threaded on your fastest rising cost. Second, if you offer health coverage, your renewal this year is going to sting, and there's a specific lever to pull before you sign it. Small group premiums are rising a median of 11% for 2026, and about 1 in 10 plans is coming in 20% higher or worse. That's from the Peterson KFF Health System Tracker. For the smallest shops, the 2 to 5 employee operations, premiums have climbed 23% since 2022, which pencils out to roughly $8,500 a year per employee. Here's the move. Before you renew the same group plan on autopilot, get a quote on an ICRA, an individual coverage health reimbursement arrangement. Instead of buying one group plan for everyone, you set a fixed dollar amount each month. Your employees buy their own individual coverage with it, and your cost stops being hostage to the group's claims. Adoption is up more than 1,000% over 5 years for a reason. It caps what you owe. One warning the brochures skip. Individual market premiums jumped an average of 26% this year, and the enhanced tax credits expired. So an allowance that felt generous last year may not stretch as far. Get the quote, but model it against what your people would actually pay on the individual market before you commit. The action this week is simply making the call so you have both numbers side by side at renewal. Third, the tax code just handed you a reason to buy that truck or that piece of equipment this year instead of nursing the old one along. Under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, 100% bonus depreciation is now permanent for qualified equipment placed in service after January 19th of 2025. Machinery, work vehicles, computers, furniture, most of what a physical business actually runs on. And in fresh guidance, IRS Notice 2026-11 removed the old requirement to rush property into service before 2027. Section 179, the companion write-off, now lets you expense up to $2,560,000, with the phase-out not starting until you've spent more than $4,090,000. That's straight from the OBBBA text and IRS guidance. In plain terms, buy a $40,000 work truck and put it to use this year, and you can deduct the full $40,000 against this year's income instead of spreading it over 5 or 6 years. Here's the move, and it's a two-parter. If you've been limping along a dying vehicle or a machine that's costing you in downtime, price the replacement now and ask your accountant to run the actual after-tax cost with 100% bonus depreciation applied. The number is usually smaller than owners expect. And don't buy something you don't need just for the deduction. A write-off is a discount, not a rebate. It only pays off on equipment that earns. 3 line items, 1 theme. Your costs are moving, and so are your tools for fighting back. Tariffs are pushing the price of what you buy, health premiums are pushing the price of keeping your people, and the tax code is quietly cutting the price of the equipment that makes you money. Friday, I'll tell you the story of Maria Gonzalez, an Austin home goods operator who watched a tariff take her margin from 68% to 21% almost overnight, and what she did in the 90 days that followed, plus a free scheduling tool that pays for itself the first time it stops a no-show. I'm Drew, and this is Main Street Operator. Run the numbers, then get to work.